So the next section that we're going to move on is the site edit. So these tools can be found under the just directly under the export files. So when you click on the site edit, so the site edit is simply a status. It's a feature that was introduced to WordPress that allows you to check and show critical information about your WordPress website configuration and items that require your attention. So this site edit is actually best for you to see if your website is actually in good condition. If it's not in good condition, it's going to show what is required of you to make it in good condition. So we have critical issue and we have recommended improvement. I also have past tests. So the critical issue are issues that you really need to fix as soon as possible. So could not reach WordPress.org. It simply means that communicating with the WordPress server is used to check for new versions and to both install and update WordPress core. So the reason why it's actually showing this is because I'm using my local host to actually make these WordPress cores, and currently I'm not connected to the internet. So that's why it's bringing this critical issue. And you know that when you are not connected to internet, you cannot actually install a WordPress plugin directly from the WordPress server. So you have to use the manual method to install plugin or themes. So that's why it's showing the critical issue. So if you have other critical issue that is affecting your site, it's also going to show it from here. So, and we also have recommended improvement. So the first recommended improvement is you should remove inactive plugins. So plugins extend your, so when you click on, if you want to know more about recommended every issue that you are facing, all you have to do is you click on this or you click on the arrow here. So it's going to show you why it is showing that error. So it says plugins extend your site functionality with things like contact form, e-commerce, and much more. That means they have deep access to your site, so it's vital to keep them up to date. So what this basically is telling me is that if I'm not using a plugin, then there is no need for me to keep it on my site, that I should remove it. So while some improvements are actually recommended, so it's not always a best practice to follow, to religiously follow all of them. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't be followed. Of course you should try and follow them to keep your site in good health condition, but you shouldn't always try to make it 100%. For instance, inactive plugins, so there are some plugins that you will later need, so you can just leave them for a while and continue using it. But if you feel like you are not using the plugin, you can just delete the plugin since you are no longer using it. So the same thing also go for themes. If you feel like you are no longer using a theme, so you can delete it, but if you are still going to need to use the theme, then you can leave it. So the other recommended improvement is that more of my recommended modules are missing. So it's going to tell me the module, and this PHP modules, this is actually PHP module, so it's kind of a little bit technical. If it's something that I can fix, I fix it on my own. If it's something that I cannot fix, I either get in touch with a WordPress consultant or a WordPress technician, or I got in touch with my hosting company provider to look into it for it. So we also have background update may not be working, so it's going to actually show the reason why this is it's going to tell you the reason why this is not working. And we also have your website does not use HTTPS. So HTTPS is actually compulsory to be used on the website, but since this is actually a staging website, so this is why it's showing that I'm not using HTTPS. So now we have the critical issue, we have the recommended improvement, and we have the past test. So past tests are simply means that the tests that have passed. So we have 14 items with no issues are detected. So these are all the tests that my site have already passed. So that is all about that, about the site edit. It allows you to check for your site to know what is happening, what's working, and what is not working.